So, Mega Man 5. I've said this before. This is probably the specific review I'm most nervous about overall of the classic games. Because, yeah, sure, Mega Man 2 is good, and Mega Man 3 I was a little bit surprised by, even though it's a beloved classic, and then there's the other ones. But then there's Mega Man 5. Anybody who's been watching this series for any length of time knows that a semi-common thing, which I actually call the Mega Man 7 effect, is when I go back to a game I used to replay a lot, and I used to enjoy, on replay, and it's actually not that good of a game. Now, there's usually an explanation for that. There's usually some kind of descriptor to explain why the game isn't that good and why I replayed it so much, as I discussed with both Mega Man 7 and Mega Man X3. But when I had Mega Man 5, I had access to all kinds of Mega Man games. In fact, 1 through 5 at this point in time. So, I'm hoping Mega Man 5 is actually going to score decently well, but I don't actually know. Because who knows? By the way, really quick, we got 2 subs off camera from Barn Dogs and Toxic Juice Box. I want to say thank you to both of you, if you happen to see this. Neither of you put that towards something, but if you'd like to, just message me and I will do so. Thank you very much. Mega Man 5. Whoops, wrong button. As usual, best jury. Notice the artwork is just noticeably higher detailed, by the way, than the previous ones. And this is just kind of a recurring trend that will keep going. Lots of enemies in this one. And then we have... who's this? It's Darkman. Oh, that's kind of strange. I don't know what his deal is. I wouldn't worry about it too much. So let's give out the usual positives. Best Jerry. Life features. Yeah, I was going to read that out loud, too, because it's kind of funny. The Japanese manual for this game is hysterical. At least I think it is. Although I think even in the English one, they flat out said that Cossack powered up the Buster. They definitely mentioned that Cossack built beat, so that's useful. But anyway, so best jury, little life features, quick save, and load, and rewind. There we go. Let's just bang out the automatic pluses and negatives. I really should just start every stream by saying, and plus to this, and negative to this. So plus to the collection, negative to being a Mega Man game. All right. Hang on, so let's back up here. Rockman was vigilant in his resolve to stand guard against Wily, but after 2 months had passed since Mega Man 4, even he was starting to enjoy a brief period of relaxation. There was still one question that was bothering him, and he decided to ask Dr. Light for help. Doctor, just what kind of person is Blues, anyway? But Dr. Light was unable to give a proper answer. Just then, they received word from Dr. Cossack. Then the news that his work on Rockman's newest support bot, Beat, was now completed. Rockman immediately sent up to Dr. Cossack's laboratory and forgot all about Blues and would never ask about him again. Rockman was speaking to Kalinka in Dr. Cossack's living room when suddenly they received an emergency call from Dr. Light over the TV phone. I was unable to confirm this completely, but an unknown group of robots is attacking the town, and it seems Blues is their leader. Can it be? Rockman hurried home, but just in time to see the figure that looked like Blues kidnapping Dr. Light. Why would Blues do this? No time to wonder now. We have no choice but to give chase. In the English manual, it says, Protoman's gone wild. I know you're worried about Dr. Light, but your first duty is to free the city from the grip of Protoman's robots. I can modify your reactor to give the Mega Buster a little bit more power, but the rest is up to you. Dr. Light and I have been working on a special project, but it's not finished yet. Maybe if I can get it working, it'll give you an edge. Oh, sorry. And thus we start Mega Man 5. This is kind of an interesting one from a behind the scenes. Whoops. Hang on. Boop. Before we talk about Mega Man 5, I want to talk about Mega Man 3. Just for a second. For those of you not aware, I'm sorry. Let me rewind that a second. Mega Man 3 DOS, or Mega Man DOS 3, depending on how you want to define that. So, Mega Man 3 DOS came out the year this game came out. It came out before Mega Man 5. And that's significant because Mega Man DOS included... Mega Man 3 DOS, sorry. That just sounds weird to say it that way. included several robot masters, including Blade Man, Torch Man, Shark Man, Oil Man, and Wave Man. Now, if you're not catching it, Oil Man was added to 1, Blade Man was added to 9 or 10, I forget which. Torch Man was added to 11, Shark Man is added to the Battle Network games, and of course Wave Man is in this game. Wave Man is in Mega Man 5. Something about that amuses me tremendously. Anyways, so they're like, okay, we need to put out this new Mega Man game. Now, I mentioned how they had weight behind Mega Man 4. They had the same weight behind Mega Man 5, and 5 would be the last of the classic games, as in 1 through 8, that had weight and support from the studio. 6, actually, Capcom started pulling the plug on Mega Man 6, and the Mega Man 7 was kind of thrown together a little bit. Mega Man 8 was kind of an experiment, and, well, we all know what was going on during the PS1 era in the Mega Man franchise. We've already talked about that as we've gone through Mega Man X4, 5, and 6. So, this was the last one that Capcom really threw their weight behind. Not counting 9 or 10, which was done by a different studio, and 11, which I actually don't know that much behind the scenes on. But I mentioned that because they were like, all right, what do you got next? What's after Mega Man 4? Mega Man 4 sold well, it did well, what do we do with it? And apparently, most of the development staff looked at Mega Man 4 and said, well, we've peaked, we're done. There's no new innovations, we can't add anything to the formula. So all we can do is make everything bigger and better. And so they started trying to do that with Mega Man 5. And what's funny about this is they're essentially trying to make Mega Man 5 into an iteration of Mega Man 4. But what I find funny about that is that's what all the Mega Man games have been. Very few Mega Man games have actually truly innovated. They've just been like, okay, let's add on to the previous game. Whoops. So the big innovation for this one is the addition of Beat. I actually mentioned this briefly, but the Buster will be different. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Beat was invented and developed by Inafune. They did something different this time. So they've been doing the power contests. And as I've said, they do the Robot Master power contests up until Mega Man 8. But in this one, they actually did the contest through Nintendo Power, the magazine, which I'm sure at least some of you know what that is. And that helped boost Mega Man 5 sales as well as receptions, not an insignificant amount. Correct, Ginga Man. However, well, sales are starting to flag at this point because this came out in December of 1992. If you don't understand the significance of that year, the SNES came out in 1991. And this is a very common problem, and we've actually talked about this several times, even just when it comes to the Mega Man series. Because it's a very common pattern. If you release a game on a console, when its successor has come out, its sales are hurt by the consequence thereof. That's just a very standard pattern that went up until, let's say, at least the PS3 or PS4 era. So, just to give you a little bit of perspective, things that came out in this particular year include Sonic the Hedgehog 2 over on the Genesis, Super Mario Kart on the SNES, Dragon Quest V, and Final Fantasy V. So, as usual, sales flagged, and this is one of the reasons why the studio pulled out of Mega Man for the upcoming games. So, let's see what we got with this one, shall we? I am more nervous about the score of 5 than anyone. I already said that. I used to replay... If I can interrupt one more time. I've talked before about some of the challenge runs that I used to do for these games. Would you believe that all of those challenge runs actually started with this game? A friend of mine challenged me to go through Mega Man 5 with Buster only. And I said, okay. Ironically, at the time, I didn't realize that would be easier than some of the other games, but whatever. So, I was like, all right, let's go through Mega Man 5 Buster only. And I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, and that just kind of sparked the idea of a challenge run to me. It's just such a weird thing. It introduced the concept to me, and I'm like, oh, this is a great thing. You know what I should do? I should play other Mega Man games, except I don't take damage. Or I should play this other Mega Man game, except I don't use this weapon, or I don't do this thing, or I have to go through it as quickly as possible, and so forth and so on. So I always credit Mega Man 5 for essentially introducing me to that particular concept of challenge and speed runs. Love this intro, by the way. I'm sorry, but that is a fantastic intro. Might actually be one of the best NES or Mega Man Classic intros. Absolutely adore that. It does everything it needs to super quickly. It's got a great song. It actually has surprisingly good animation, good usage of the shots to try and get across what's going on in sort of a stylized manner because they can't do a full CGI cutscene or whatever. And it's a great hook for anybody who's been playing the series so far. Mega Man 5 is probably the first Mega Man game clearly made for Mega Man players. Because 4 could be the first one you play, and it gives you all you need to get into the series. Same with 3, same with 2, same with 1. 5 relies on knowing who Proto Man is and having that pre-existing investment. I've talked about this a lot over on the television stuff I cover with regards to the cold open. There's cold opens that get your attention because of the fact that, you know, oh, okay, that's interesting, or it's a big action sequence, or oh my gosh, it's dramatic. But then there's cold opens which don't make any sense whatsoever unless you already know something. Like, imagine a cold open of Star Trek The Next Generation. This is made up, of course, where Picard shows up and he says, yes, this is, of course, what it should be. And he pulls out his phaser and shoots all the other people on the bridge. Then he holds up his phaser and then cut to black. That cold open only really works if you know who Picard is, if you have that pre-existing investment, right? I mean, you could argue it works otherwise, but you get the point. It is designed for someone who is familiar with the show. And that is Mega Man 5 right there. So, yes, absolutely a plus to that intro. That intro is awesome. And honestly, I'm already leaning towards an external continuity plus. Because Mega Man 5 kind of leans in that direction in a way that most of the classic games don't. Until, gosh, 9 or 10, I would say, actually, off the top of my head. We'll debate it as we go through it. Maybe 8. We'll debate 8 when we get there. What's the negative? What's the negative? What negative? What negative? What are you talking about? Von Falkenstein, no! Why are you giving negatives to my game? Don't give negatives to my baby. Please, Von Falkenstein, I'm begging you. Don't do it. So the intro is awesome. That's awesome. I'm just going to give away a music plus right now because the music in 5 is banging. We'll see how many pluses it holds open to eventually. So that's another music plus there. Okay. Oh, you mean the boss refights, because this game has boss refights, because of course it does. All right, so return to game. So, you know the question. For those of you who've never played Mega Man 5, give me an order. Of all the Mega Man games, there are 2 Mega Man games that I am not worried about the boss refight order. And that is this one and 2. So, whatever order you give, I got this. So we got Gravity, Napalm, Pyro, and by Pyro I mean Gyro, because I could talk. Star. Okay. What else you got? We still need Wave. Hey, Wave! We still need... What do we need? We need Wave, we need Charge, we need Stone, and we need Crystal. So we're doing Crystal next. Hi, Cycloud. Also, a very minor touch, but I'm going to be gushing about the graphics in these games, just like I did in 4. 4, 5, and 6 just have really great graphics. Not even just for the NES. I unironically think the graphics in these games stand up now. My opinion. Like, you could tell they were really starting to become masters of the whole, the dotting, as they call it, craft at this point. Yeah, I need more. What am I missing? Gravity, Napalm, Gyro, Star, Crystal. I still need Stone, Wave. 6, 7. Stone, Wave, and Charge. Stone, Wave, and Charge. Okay, so we got Stone, and then Wave, and then Charge. Sure, the exact order I just said it in. That's funny. My usual first boss is Charge Man, so we'll be doing him last. Let's do it. Gravity Man first. All the pluses to Gravity Man stage. Animation is almost assuredly getting a positive. Anybody recognize this screen? It's okay if you don't. No judgment. Like I said, I'm going to be pointing out pretty much every single time there's a Star Trek rewrite screen that I've used. There's going to be a lot in 5 and 6. So we've got this kind of cool looking thing. Oh god, there's a spike pit. I should jump over that. Whoop! So I hate to gush about small tidbits of good game design, but you notice how pretty much right off the bat... Okay, I can't get up there. They design it so that you... Here, I'm just going to do this real quick. Just to really show this off. Sorry. Yes, that is the Enterprise engine room, specifically. So they designed this jump right here. So that even if you somehow don't see the giant glowing arrows in the background and don't divine what that means, you are still likely to jump over the spikes. Even someone who's new to video games is probably going to jump over the spikes. You go to jump, and you pretty much immediately jump into this, and now understand how this works. And then you might play with it a bit. And anybody who plays with it will notice that there's a way to actually flip it around like that. Because the enemy is only affected by every so many flips, but Rock is affected instantaneously by the flips. So you can play with that a little bit on the stage. By the way, I love this stage. It's one of my favorite classic Mega Man stages. Sorry to gush, but I mean, look at the detail on this. I should probably mention that you have to hold up in order to slide when you're upside down. I should probably show off the Buster, though. So now you have this giant freaking Buster. Look at that sucker. Ooh, hello. The slide bug has been gone since 4. Yeah, you have a nice big Buster, which actually literally hits a larger area. By the way, Rush Coil works differently, and it's actually to its betterment. This is one of those tiny changes that substantially changes the nature of it. I'm going to explain this very briefly, forgive me. So previously, the way the Rush Coil works is you jump on Rush, and it gives you a big jump up. Now what this does, if we're to map out our jump arc, what this means is we can do this, and pretty much everything in between. So we've got like a fountain. If we draw out the areas we can jump to, it's like this, right? But because of the fact that the jump goes up and then you can jump off of it, suddenly your jump arc has substantially increased to effectively this huge umbrella over this area. So we actually have more maneuverability by virtue of the fact that the coil jumps and then we can jump rather than bouncing off it immediately. It's such a minor change, but it does substantially change what we can reach with it. Oh yeah, the interface is clean and awesome, and I wonder what that Mega Man 5 is on the bottom. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's nothing. But yeah, let's just dot down a few things here. Interface, controls, core combat, rush kit. Let's just jot all these down. We know these are going to be pluses. Let's just get all that down. Okay, cool. It is not Loner. See, the way those arrows actually work is they have a painted area along an axis, a y-axis specifically, and so what we have is giant guys. And as a consequence of that, you can't really miss it. See what I mean? Like in this case, whoops. I'll accept that. I was just showing it off, but you get the idea. I accept the death. Oh, by the way, the big Buster shot can shoot... Like I said, it gives you greater verticality in terms of shots. That's already really awesome. Yep, that pit was there just for me. They knew 20-something years ago. Whatever that is at this point. I'm curious which stages you did, Mr. Ed, because you mentioned you were trying 5, and then you hated it. Shoutouts to Ireland. Also, Lord of the Ring is awesome. I'm totally with that concept. Alright, so. Not going to show it off there. So what we want is to do that. There we go. I wonder what that letter is. Oh, hey, the M is lit up now. Okay, so we want to get all the letters. And you notice how they all do that. All the stages do that. There's a nice... It pretty well exposits the concept that you want to collect the letters. You don't know what they're for. But even if you don't have the manual, even if you don't know what's going on, even if you've never played this game before, it does tell you getting the letters is a good thing and it leads to good things, so that's cool. And one more. There we go. You know, I'm actually not sure, Gingaman. I'd have to think about that. So we start the boss fight on the top. Oh yeah, so yeah, like, there's no real way to bypass this axis, is kind of what I was going at here. Oh yeah, no, we're probably going to get a lot of pluses to stage. We might actually start giving multiple pluses to stages in this game. Boop. Boop. Now, the bosses are not the hardest thing in the world. But then again, I know this game very well, so I'm a little bit biased, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I do like the Gravity Man fight. I think it's a clever way to use the gravity mechanic of the stage. Fulfills the theme. It's actually a Gravity Man fight, unlike that previous fight we saw, which wasn't really a gravity fight. That's awesome. I love it. So, you don't have to, Tailwag. I appreciate the thought. I do. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Make fun of me all you want. I want to give 2 positives to Gravity Man stage. Maybe 1.5. Let's do that. Let's compromise. There we go. We'll do that. I'm going to be gushing about this one a little, by the way. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a gush run. Sorry. Let's just go ahead and put this up here. We're already up to there. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and grab that in case we need it. You got Gravity Hold. Yes, that's right. One of the weapons in this game is gravity. Okay, so who are we doing next? Napalm. We're doing Gravity, Napalm, Gyro, Star, Crystal, Stone, Wave Charge. Love the animation on the trees in the background. Tiger enemies. Gotta have tigers. They're robot tigers. Of course they are. This is Mega Man. Everything is robots. I'm actually a robot. I've been meaning to tell you this whole time. That's why I like Mega Man games. I'm actually a robot. And there we go. So, as much as I love gushing about this game, I will admit, Napalm Man's stage looks brilliant, and this game's going to absolutely get some pluses for sprite work. But the problem is this stage isn't super expansive when it comes to, you know, its actual level design. Because it's like, okay, here's something, and you can destroy it. And you can destroy it, and that's kind of it. Not much to that. Breather section. Go up for a minute. Hey, there's an E-tank over there. Again, very intuitive on where it is. We've got the return of this concept from Toadman. Pretty much copy-paste. We've got helicopters because it's Nom. You gotta have helicopters in Nom. So we're gonna take a few hits on purpose to reset. There we go. Scooch up a bit. You know what? I don't feel like allowing those guys to be there. Go away. And that's what Gravity Hold does. Go away. So, we're probably going to give the weapons +2. What do we got? A 1-up. You know what? I'll take it. I could always use more lives. Listen, you just don't understand the brilliance that is Proto Man's minions. Believe it or not, we don't actually have an answer for that. We know what the Mega Man 4 Robot Masters are. We know what the Mega Man 6 Robot Masters are. We know what the 3 ones are. We know what the 2 ones are. And we know what the 1 ones are. What we do not know is what's up with the Robot Masters in 5. It's kind of strange. Don't worry, I'm going to be on for a few hours, Palewag. I stream nice, big, long chunks. We got a lot of tanks here. Gotta have tanks. They're getting ready to fight the Pharaoh Swarm. And need that. Yeah, that was worth it. That was worth it. Instant kill spikes, which we're just gonna avoid. Listen, nobody likes Guts, man. Except for, like, everybody, including me. And that was Napalm Man stage. Admittedly, not a lot to it, but I still think it's a very solid stage. And I think putting down a plus for Napalm Man's stage is certainly worthwhile. Oh yeah, let's jot down our first plus for sprite work. I've never played WoW in my life. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, I've played a little bit of WoW in my life, yes. A minute, small amount. Alright, just typing up a few notes. Okay, there we go. Napalm Man. A little too early. Way too early. And that was Napalm Man. I've never even heard of that, Mr. Red. I don't like WoW Vanilla. I'm not a fan. I'm happy that other people like it. Yeah, Napalm Man looks so cool, they brought him forward into several things, including the Power Battle series. I'm willing to say an aggregate positive for Napalm Man. He's not super amazing, but what he is decently designed. If you're missing it, he has 3 basic forms of attack. First is just to lunge at you, obviously. Shoot straight ahead, or nice little over-the-lunge thing. So it's designed to force you to jump, or designed to interrupt your jumps, respectively. And no, Zactaf, I have no plans at the moment. Yeah, I know, right? Solar Galaxy. It's just... Yeah, no, I'm doing a small Star Trek rewrite. Who's next? Gyro. Real talk, I don't remember what any of these guys' weaknesses is, because I usually do Buster only. We'll figure it out. So we got Napalm Bombs. Let's show those off briefly. These look a little bit plain. Elevator levels... They have their use. It's good for hitting enemies on the ground. I do know Napalm is weak to crystal, and I only know that because of physics. Go away. Whoops. finger rest on the trigger there for a second. No, Valvedix, no. Oh god, it's my most hated enemy of all. Frickin' chickens. From Zelda. Get it. Okay, never mind. Look, I don't know how to make jokes, okay? I'm terrible. Does the napalm damage your character? No. Why would napalm damage yourself? There's no such thing as friendly fire with napalm. Wouldn't that be horrible? Wouldn't that just be awful? Spinning jumpers. Kind of cool. Kind of keeps the theme of Gyro across, you know. Ah, screw it. Let's just go. Love the design of this area, by the way. Kind of like this whole aerial plant thing. Wind farm, that's what they call those. Aw, that was a screw-up. That was a screw-up. Definitely not Guts Man. So, we're introduced to an enemy that's going to attack us vertically while we go over this section. So we get across what we're going to be going into pretty much immediately. Worth the death. I actually missed one in Napalm now, it just occurred to me. Oh no, I got the end. Never mind. I got the end. We're cool. We're cool. We're cool. Oh god, they totally do, Ginga Man. Considering X1 was actually in development at this point in time. These are instant kill spikes, by the way. No. I mean, I know it's possible to jump up from that. I just failed at it. So, good stage. Very good stage. Definitely giving a positive to that stage. Yeah, pretty much all... What really surprised me, this is going to sound weird, was when I got to Mega Man 8, and the stages were so long, and I was just weirded out by it. It's like, wait a minute. So, anybody want to guess Gyro Man's weakness? Before I just show it off. Other than being shot in the face, obviously. Believe it or not, we have it! Nope. I was too jumpy. That's okay, we got a couple more shots. And by a couple, I mean one more shot. So, one of the things they did in this one, and some people dislike this and some people like this, so... Whichever one you are, you know, it's up to you, of course. But what they did was they upped how much damage enemies take from your fully charged shot. Like, substantially. In the previous games, it was really simple and actually quite linear. They took 1 damage from your basic shot, 2 damage from your secondary shot, and 3 damage from your fully charged shot, and that was it. Whoops. Wow! I actually... Okay. Here, I forget the exact numbers. It's something like 5 damage from the fully charged shot. And so, as a consequence, Buster-only runs aren't terrible if you're using charged shots. I just wanted to do that damage list just to prove that I can. This is also one of the only Mega Man games where the final boss's weakness is the Mega Buster. The fully charged, I should say. I should clarify. Gyro attack. And the Rush Jet. Gotta have Rush Jet. Next up is Star. I'm really glad we're doing Star before Crystal, for reasons I'll explain later. I don't know, I think you could gyrate to classical music. So, nice space. Oh, hey, check this out. This is actually technically new to the series. It's based on the water physics, but it is actually different than their typical water physics. Oh yeah, as usual, please feel free to shout out your favorite song when you hear it. We're not at mine yet, obviously. So you like spikes, right? As is the norm, as established by Bubble Man. We have high jumps, and we have spikes. So we get back to that whole control your jump height thing. Good morning, Vandalia. Safest way to do that. This is one of the hardest jumps in the game right here. And that's why. Really easy to do it too short or too long. Good morning, Evo. I've been doing good, since theoretically the problem in my living room might be actually solved. I never actually got sushi yesterday. I didn't have time, because we had so much time on those frickin' boss refights. I'm just gonna do it the easy way. Come here. Ugh, there we go. Whoa, that was fun. That was actually a dropped input, which is usually why I would prefer to play these on Turbo. Oh yeah, I love the jetpack mets. By the way, just in general. Just do that. And just to be safe. There we go. And we're good. We just left it off, Velveters. I've just been leaving it off ever since we had issues in 4. I'm not 100% sure it was the turbo causing the issues, but the fact that I one-shot it perfectly immediately after is kind of telling. Uh-oh. There's only one thing to do. That's the wrong thing to do. Go away. I should show off Gyro's attack, pretty much. Whoops. I actually missed. So Gyro's attack is like the magnet missile, except you control when it goes up or down. Oh, I missed. 7, I'm pretty sure. I don't think 6 had quick switching. remember thinking the quick switching is one of the only... or rather, the quick switching is a positive because Lord knows Mega Man 8 needs that extra boost to its score because, I mean... Yeah. Although I'm curious how 8's going to review, because I just don't have particularly good memories of 8. Just to prove that I can. And for no other reason. What's funny is I wonder what it would have taken to add Quick Switch back to, the old ones, in the collection specifically. I legitimately don't know, whoops, what it would take. I'm not a programming master. Not yet, Zach Taft. I usually do that when I'm closer to the actual release. I usually don't watch trailers, though. What's a checkpoint? I've heard of this alien concept before, but... The only downside of the gravity hold is you don't get drops from them. Oh, come on! Oh, whatever. Ah! I needed that. Whatever. Oh, no. That's on me. Shouldn't have gone for it. Shouldn't have been greedy. The easy way now, because, health is apparently something I should be paying attention to. Can you imagine paying attention to your own health? Ugh. What kind of game am I playing here, honestly? Oh, it went quite well, Evo. In fact, the whole VOD is already up on YouTube. It took a little over 24 hours for YouTube to process it for some reason. That's not like a conspiracy theory thing. It literally took them over 24 hours to process the video. I have no idea what was taking them so damn long. Manual review. I mean, it was a 7-hour video, but that's not exactly the first time I've uploaded a 7-hour video. So, who knows? And I didn't play any music that should even flag anything. We had Super Metroid music, Morrowind, and Final Fantasy XIV music, and that was it. Just gonna do that safe this time. Just not even mess with it. I don't remember what Starman's weak to. I think he's weak to Stone Man. So Starman's actually pretty random. He can jump varying heights. He always puts up his shield after one hop of putting it down. So like he'll hop, and then he'll put it up, and then he'll shoot it at you. Similar in style to Woodman, except a little bit more dexterous, obviously. Because of his randomness, though, sometimes it's a little hard to dodge him. Because you're not sure what he's going to do, and of course you can't hit him until he shoots the damn thing. I'm going to go and blow this, because I don't feel like doing that again. If ARR is the only one that might not, Valvrix, because honestly, most of ARR's music doesn't even really register with me. We'll see. ARR is the one that's in the running, though. In the world. Ah! There we go. cable problems. Now we have the super arrow. Well, that's interesting. What's the super arrow? So, next we do Crystal Man. Not a great place to show this off. We do need to give a plus to Starman's stage, though. I'm not sure if Starman as a boss deserves a plus. But Starman's stage definitely does. This is my second favorite song in the game. Or third. I actually can't remember. But we'll find out. Yeah, I love this crystal mine. So, this is the arrow. It actually does damage too, but it's kind of like a slightly better / worse version of the magnet beam. Because on the one hand, you can't put it in thin air, but on the other hand, it's a lot more static and a lot more useful for things other than being a platform. In fact, some of the enemies in this game have a weakness of the arrow. So this section can suck. Or you can just have your shield up. What? Love the visuals here, but I just absolutely love. By the way, once again, some of you should hopefully recognize some of the visuals here. I'll point out the specific screen when we get there. Don't miss the jump. You only get one shot at it. What, you mean like the X's? Honestly, the Mega Man Classics always kind of fit in my brain a little bit better than the Mega Man X's. With a couple of exceptions. Like X1 and X5. Oh, Jesus Christ. Both play like just butter. That's a good question, Darth Tyrant. But yes, absolutely. So this is actually the screen, but I edited it heavily, so I wouldn't blame you if you don't actually recognize it. This is the Tholian Bridge, specifically. Hello. There we go. You know, just go away. Oh, it doesn't hit the mouse. That's funny. Oh yeah, Shovel Knight is the best Mega Man game I've ever played, and that's still true. Anyone want to drop a health up, please? Let's never mind. Let's go. Let's go. So let's see. Chill Man. We already have a Chill Man. Wouldn't it be Penguin Man? But yeah, no, it would. You're probably right. It would just be Chill, Shock, etc. And then, of course, Flame Man, because, you know... That sucks. How am I doing on lives? I'm doing okay on lives. Here, come kill me. Kill me! Kill me. Kill me, my minions. Nope, it's already shown up in the rewrite, as of Episode 2, Warp Core. I mean, come on, Crystal Man for the Tholians just fits perfectly, though, doesn't it? Yeah, so when they're dealing with the probe, at a certain point in the episode, they finally figure out that it is, in fact, something called a Tholian probe. And for about half a second, there's just a flash. When I say the word Tholian, there's a flash of... There we go. The Tholian Bridge. Obviously, that'll probably be used later. But again, the mere fact that we introduced it that early is kind of all I need to say about that. Mega Man is an androbot, leaning towards android. Now, whether he's a full android or not is something that is actually debatable, not codified. What are you weak to? Oh, yeah, you're weak to Gyro. And that's Crystal Man. I tend to agree with Alex. In a similar manner as the Doctor over on Voyager, I would say that Rock had the capacity to be sentient and sapient, but he didn't. It wasn't until, you know, a little bit into the series that he grows into it. Is probably how I do that. So, yeah, he doesn't wake up and he's sentient sapient. He builds into it. Yeah, Crystal Man's actually one of the harder bosses, Buster only, along with Charge Man, ironically. But Crystal Man stage, of course, gets a positive. Why wouldn't it? I don't think I gave a plus to Crystal Man himself. He's actually pretty rough. But in kind of a good way. Hang on. Arguing with myself in my head. Screw it. I'm going to give Crystal Man a plus. Okay. I would say no, Vandalia, but again, that is a bit of a debatable. The way that so the Mega Man series does the usual 3 tiers, which a lot of fiction does. There's robots, which cannot become sentient sapient no matter what. They're just robots. There's androbots, which have a degree of intelligence and problem solving, but they still do not have the ability to self-determinate or think for themselves. And then there's androids, and those are the ones who can actually become sentient or sapient or are built that way. So the way I tend to think of it is most of the robot masters are in the middle, androbots. However, if you read the Archie comics, most of the robot masters are actually up here at the android level. And, they're just reprogrammed in order to serve evil, yada yada, and then they get fixed. And a lot of the robot masters are recurring characters in the Archie comics, so it kind of depends on how you look at it. What am I doing next? Stone! This is my favorite song in the game. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I feel Rock... I feel like Rock developing sentience wasn't really planned for. It was probably just Dr. Light was doing his usual thing, because his whole thing was intelligent robots, as we see in Mega Man 11, even going back to his school days. And he just kind of accidentally made Rock a little bit too intelligent, and so he just kind of developed into it, right? Oh, that's probably one of the most hidden of the letters right there. How many of you even saw that discoloration? Because there is something hinting at it. It's actually a different brick there. To put it another way, I think that Dr. Light wanted Rock, his housekeeping robot, to be intelligent, to be a companion, to be a son, just like he wanted Blues to be. But I think that he was more successful than he intended to be, if that makes any sense. I think most of us can agree that by 7, Rock has officially hit the point of sentient sapience, but... yeah, where he drifts over into that is a little more interesting to think about. Oh, absolutely none, Jared Duffy. Dr. Light is definitely the kind of person who builds first and asks questions later. I don't want to call him negligent, but at the same time, Dr. Light, excuse me, is totally negligent. So there's that slowdown. Ooh. Unfortunately, no, Vandalia. Roll has received very little attention over the years. Usually as a joke character, she's in Powered Up as a playable. She's actually pretty good in Powered Up. But no actual attention or characterization or anything of that sort. Unless you count the Archie comics. She's a full character in the Archie comics because the Archie comics are awesome. Archie Comics plug. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna kind of nope out of this situation. Yeah, you know what? Go away. I love that attack. It's like the Rain Flush, except better in every way. By the way, this is Crystal Man's weapon. It does that. It's one of another example of great ricochet weapons, of which there are many. Ooh, okay, that's a screw up on my part. Oop. Go a bit further. There we go. I could probably use the tank, though. The rest jut is the same as in 4, by the way. Severely nerfed from 3, but still useful. What do you got for me? Let's see, what am I low on? Yeah, in regards to the joke about Jughead having a conversation with Rock, I will admit that when I first learned about the Archie comics, my reaction was, really? Archie comics? Really? I didn't realize at the time how much Archie comics did with regards to being awesome, for lack of a better way to put it. Like this, the two big ones for me would be Sonic and Mega Man, both of which have some really awesome comics. I don't actually remember what he's weak to. I think he's weak to Wave. No, he wouldn't be. Who's he weak to? Napalm? Sure, we'll try Napalm. I don't remember what Stone Man's weak to. He's weak to being awesome. Which means I'm screwed. I love the idea of a Robot Master who is effectively a small version of of the Yellow Devil, because he kind of breaks down as he moves around. I just kind of like that idea. I was kind of hoping Stone Man would do something like that over in Mega Man 11. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and give that second music positive right now while we're thinking about it. Yeah, one of my personal... I shouldn't say it that way. One of the comic series I remember fondly is the one where they did a crossover of Sonic and Mega Man. And that led to some interesting stuff. I actually tend to agree with you on both points there, Blue of Alex. Like I said, it was one of those, huh? You know how that is. It's the same reason I didn't pick up Mega Man 1 the first time I saw the box art and said, huh? It's the same reason I didn't pick Zelda Wind Waker up the first time I saw it, because I saw it and went, huh? I'd like to think I'm past the huh phase of my life at this point, but I certainly did that for a few decades there. Debating Stone Man stage. It's probably the simplest stage in the game, and it's most likely the Cut Man equivalent, aka this is the stage you're supposed to do first. It does have a couple of good jumps, but not really super expensive. I'm going to give an aggregate positive, and that's going to fill up our aggregate here. So, plus, aggregate plus to Stone Man, which fills up that aggregate. Which, of course, means we need to change the HUD a little bit, because we're actually here. Oh yeah, we should probably give the visual storytelling plus. Pretty sure we're going to give the visual continuity one as well. But we're just going to... Yeah, Shantae is actually another example of that. Exactly the same thing. I said that when I first played our first Shantae game, which was Half Genie Hero. It was the first one of those I ever played, and I played it on stream. And I gave that whole speech of, so this is why I've never looked at this series before. Because I looked at this bikini-clad woman, and all of these bikini-clad women, and I said, okay, yeah, that's probably not for me. Then I played Half Genie Hero, and I absolutely fell in love with it. In fact, I'm looking forward to reviewing the entire series at some point. Who's next? Wave! This... By memory, this is one of the hardest of the 8 stages. We'll see how we do here. By the way, anyone recognize this screen? Hey, Eon Dragon. I do hope you have a good day at work when you get there. And it's because if you don't, oh, then I'll get hit by that jet of steam right there. We should probably show off some of the other weapons. What haven't we shown off yet? Oh, yeah. The one we just got. So this attacks like that. Which may not look useful because it's kind of hard to aim, but it's actually really useful. Not just for sweeping properties, but for being able to hit enemies in unusual positions relative to you. Also, believe it or not, this is such a minor point, but this is some good design right here. In earlier Mega Man games, they wouldn't be able to separate it so that the chain doesn't have collision, so that it doesn't do damage to you. Yeah, don't mistake me. I'm down with, you know, a gritty, dark reboot. As long as it's good. Batman is probably the example of that. No, really, think about it. I love these bubble sections right here. I do, even though I just screwed it up. No, I didn't, Gingaman. Hang on. I must have completely missed it. I'm dumb and stupid. There it is! It's Gingaman who says, listen, Lore, I hate you and your opinions. You're dumb and you suck. Okay, well. I do hate my opinions, too. It's okay. I understand completely. I will put that, however, towards the Metroid block. Thank you very much. Let's see. Bamboo Man. Okay. Optic Woman. Yep. Abyss Man. Yeah, okay, I'm with that. Cubic Man, yep. Mineral Man. Gigabolt Man, I like that. Yeti Man and Inferno Man. No, those are good. Those are good. I like it. Well, no, I'm kind of in the same boat with you on that one, Alex. For example, sorry, Blue of Alex. For example, if you did a gritty, dark reboot of Mario, what the hell is wrong with you? Now, don't mistake me. I actually like dark storytelling in the Mario series, but that's not a gritty reboot. That's Paper Mario, is what that is. And in my opinion, that is different. So, okay, real talk for a second. How many of you, it took you a while to realize that that was actually supposed to be a cityscape in the background because of how weird the scale is done? So, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is actually the origination of the jet bikes. The ride armors, or whatever they're called, in the Mega Man X series. They wouldn't show up until X2. But, I mean, come on. Mini-bosses! It's always the water levels with the mini-bosses. First it was Dive Man, and now it's Wave Man. We're even in a green bike just for you. Never forget, green biker dude. Got it. Okay, I knew it was coming. It's getting kind of jumpy. You probably saw that. I was like, come on, where is it? Where is it? But we got it. So far, we haven't missed any. Soon we will have the infinite power that is Beat. In all seriousness, Beat is a little bit broken. Beat is the, I want that particular guy to die button. Sometimes referred to as the, oh, screw this button. I don't remember what Saloke is weak to. What's your weakness, Saloke, so I can hit it? What is he weak to? Is he weak to he's weak to charge. He's weak to charge. The one thing we don't have yet. Which is ironic because it also is, well, let's just say it's Top Man done properly. I always thought Wave Man looked really cool for how relatively simple his fight is. Of course, I think that about all the Mega Man bosses from pretty much this point onwards. Oh my god! There! Jesus, that's it! Hi! 4, you're right, Eon Dragon, it was 4. 4 introduced charge shots. Hang on, I'll check my notes. Because I forget the guy's name, but it's a long-standing Mega Man vet who actually joined the franchise with 4, and his first introduction to the his first contribution to the franchise was, let's make a charge shot. Hayato Kaji is the name of the guy. And he's going to be in several of the classic games going forward. He's in this one, of course. That was fun. In all seriousness, though, that's actually a fun fight, and that's a great stage. I'm going to put that one down as one of our better stages, because there are 3 stages in this game I absolutely love that I'm going to give a +1.5 for, and that's one of them. We've already given one, which is Gravity Man. We're starting a second aggregate here. God damn, what was I worried about? This game is awesome. Anyways, so. Last but not least, Charge Man. He's a train. What's funny is, when I was... Oh, I love this song. When I was sitting and thinking about how each of their powers would work like in real life, which I've talked about before because I'm a total geek, Charge Man was one of the easiest to design, if you think about it. There's actually actual superheroes in Marvel, I believe, who have that power. They just can... and they can slam into something and just, you know, effectively be invulnerable while they're running into something. Which has its own interesting uses. Love the train yard background there. Yeah, Cannonball is a good example of that, thank you. Oh yeah, so we should show off Wave Man's attack, which we will. Now we're on a train. Wave Man's attack is Snake... Oh my god, this game is just Mega Man 3 but better. No, I'm serious. Think about this for a second. Wave Man is the same as Search Man, but better. Because not only are more things weak to it, but it actually has a larger hurt box. So because it'll do this instead of just this tiny little snake. And then we have Gravity Hold, which is actually Rain Man's the better. So never mind, that's not Mega Man 3. Never mind, I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. Even though Gyro Attack is Magnet Missiles, but better. And the Crystal Eye is Gemini Man's, but better. I'm just saying, we should probably go ahead and just give that plus to weapons right now, because there's actually some legitimately good weapons in this. Okay, time to fight some Metools. What am I doing? I wonder. And of course, this is one of the best screen-clearing weapons in the entire franchise. Go away! I love that. Hey, we can even hit those guys. Those poor guys. As previously mentioned, this is actually a surprisingly good attack for hitting weirdly positioned things. Like that. Now we're inside the train. I love that little... It's such a boring, normal thing. But I love it. It's that polish on display again. I have not, Odin. Or rather, I haven't seen them in detail. I'm aware that they exist, but I've never actually looked into them. So let's see if this works on these guys. I don't think it does. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. What if this works on them? It does. Yeah, this is the other stage that's getting a +1.5, by the way. Charge Man stage is legit. Even just ignoring the gimmicks of it and the style of it, it's got some good thought into what you attack, where, and why. And of course, in many ways, this is the quote-unquote first stage you're supposed to do. It's actually this one and Gravity Man are the two quote-unquote first stages. And one of the ways you can tell that is because of how they place the letter. Just right there. If you could just reach it, if only I could reach it. Oh, hang on. Go away. There it is. And of course, you start with the coil. So. No, Shaludo, don't do it! Don't go left there. There's a lot of spikes. Give me 1 second, Shaludo. And then I shall be awesome. Or rather, I'll acknowledge your awesomeness. I won't be awesome. If I could be awesome, oh, that would be legit. Oh, could you imagine being awesome? But I am no Shaludo. So, I'm probably not doing a good job of showing this off. But you notice how the stage is just like some of the better of the older stages. It's encouraging you to move forward without forcing you to. Like, it's like, there's always an attacker or an attackee who is about to hit you, or is going to hit where you are or where you were, encouraging you to keep moving. But in all of those cases, you can still just kind of chill for a moment. Just going to wait a bit. Kind of take your breath. It's really good level design in general. Thank you, Shaludo, for being awesome very much. I will jot that down for Fallout 2. Give me just a second here. No, we have to finish up the no, you're right. Sorry, Zactep, you're absolutely right. Ignore me. I'm stupid. So, Charge Man. I think Charge Man's weak to stone? Yeah, I think that's right. We'll try that, but I usually fight him with just Buster. So I have a funny story to tell you. About how dumb I am. Okay, he's weak to stone. Charge Man can actually be pretty challenging if you're early on. He's also one of the very few bosses where collision damage makes perfect sense. His actual attack is just him shooting hot coals into the air, which is just whatever. So the first time I sat down to do my Brister-only challenge of this, recently, so this is actually like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, I was like, alright, let's try this sucker out. I started fighting Charge Man, because of course you do Charge Man first. And he was just absolutely beating the ever-living crap out of me. And I was like, what the heck am I doing wrong? Would anyone like to guess what I was doing wrong with Charge Man? Thank you, Dragonheart. As always, I'll put that towards Halo Wars 2. Any guesses? This is probably the dumbest looking castle in the franchise. I'm sorry, Blues, but your design, you need some help. So hold up. Before I answer Eon Dragon's question, you see what I just did? That was a charged attack. I forgot you could charge in Mega Man 5, so I was fighting Charge Man like this. And Charge Man, when you can only hit him for 1 damage a hit, is really rough. Now, hardest boss, Buster only. That's actually a tough question. I would agree that Electman is up there, but honestly, I think I'm actually going to give that to Iceman. There's just so small margin of error on Iceman, Buster only. And without the pause trick, obviously. Yeah, we'll accept that. Go away. A lot more explosive Vandalia. And he would be prone to randomly breaking. So we have beat... Oh, shoot, I completely screwed that up. But... yeah, it's between Electman or Iceman, Eon Dragon. That's the thing. It is the two. I can't think of anyone else who is just as much of a pain to do Buster only as Eon Dragon. You're very difficult, Eon Dragon, with Buster only, but no, I'd say Electman and Iceman are the roughest on that category. The later games were, frankly, better designed. So they're not as mean about how they do their boss designs. Wow, that guy really wants to kill me, doesn't he? Who knew that tigers were so anti-rock? You heard it here. Tigers are the man. Well, a gnome... Oh my gosh. Hang on. Let's just... deal with that. Goblin Man. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. Let's not screw up this time. Oh god, Doc Robot Woodman? Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, because you're absolutely right. Dodging that hit is literally pixel perfect. And just, ugh. Oh yeah, I should probably show off what Charge Man's ability is. Even though we've already given it. So, I'm hitting the weapon button. Why is nothing happening? It's because you have to slide! And this is the other way that this is better than Mega Man 3 in terms of weapon design. Because that is the top spin, but better. Just to put that as simply as I possibly can. Hope you have the arrow by now, because the levels are really designed around that. Of course you do have the arrow, why wouldn't you? Just always follow the arrow. Top spin is the dumb one for Mega Man 3. Go away. Let me tell you, that is something of a relief, Mr. Red, because I was actually worried this game would be another Mega Man 7, and I'd just be like, oh, man. That would not even be the first time, or the 5th time, or the 80th time. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but... Let's just say we've had several Mega Man 7s over the years. Okay, this is death. This is death. I'm gonna go and accept this. I think it looks dumb, but I think it is better. So look, as I described earlier. Oh, no doubt, Gingaman. So, you like Yoko blocks, right? Me neither. Yoku, sorry. This one's a little trickier, but we can still make that happen. What? Okay. That's glitchy. Let's try that again. Yes, Heatman... Yes, Heatman was the first charge concept in the franchise. I'm not actually sure what happened there. Just gonna wait a moment. Weird. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Let's do this. And refill... let's refill the jet. Welcome to the I'm not touching you enemy. See you around, Eon Dragon. As previously prescribed. Have a good one. Oh, well, I wonder what crazy, insane, evil boss will be at the end of the first stage. Oh my god. It's Darkman! The tank version. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well. Whoop, nip, nip, nip. I'll show off beat with the next one. Yeah, this boss is actually... This is simple in a bad way. All he does is move towards you and shoot, and then move slightly faster when he's at half health. That's it. He's a literal one-note boss. The later Darkmen get a little bit different. Correct, Vandalia. Although I don't remember... Actually, let me walk that back. I don't remember if 9, 10, or 11 do that, but I know they don't do it up to 8. Excuse me. Okay, so... I am going to give a plus, because of course I am, to Blues. Proto Man 1. We'll call it Proto Man 1. But I'm not giving a plus to Darkman 1, because Darkman 1 is boring. We'll see what we think of the later Darkmans. I should update the HUD. What are we up to here? There we go. We'll get rid of this while we're on the subject. I mean, considering the Darkmans just kind of come out of nowhere and then go nowhere, and were obviously designed to be, for lack of a better word, modular, wouldn't surprise me. Okay. Back into it. So, one unfortunate thing about Mega Man 5 is that there's only two bosses, or two songs for these stages. There's the Proto Man stage's song, which is good, and then there's the Wily stage. Oh yeah, by the way, spoiler, Wily's in this game. And then there's the Wily Stages song, which is good, but, you know, that's it, right? Of course, I completely screw that up. I love the detail in the background, though. We're definitely giving some visual pluses and doodad pluses and just general visual design pluses to Mega Man 5. Holy crap. We're doing it to 6, too. Don't mistake me. But is there a game Wily isn't in? That's an interesting question. We'd have to think about that one. So this room is mean. I immediately screw up. I know I screwed up as soon as I stuttered there. Take 2. I could see Darkman being the predecessor for Bass. And this being the predecessor for Zero by proxy. That was weird. That's the second time I've fallen through the rush coil for no reason. I'll take that. I mean, Wily's even in Mega Man Soccer, for God's sakes. There's no escaping him. He is a Jedi, like his father before him. Ugh, okay, that section is actually a lot harder to do than it looks. Oh, Wily would absolutely be Darkseid. Not because he's evil, but because his whole problem is he can't control his passions. Wily would probably fall to the dark side. Like, he wouldn't be an intelligent Darkseid user. Let's go ahead and refill our gravity hold. Never mind. That's probably worth it. How many of you think I'm about to die? Raise your hands. You may or may not notice that I'm using the weapons a lot more in this one than I normally do. Which, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about in Mega Man 4. About how the weapons are just better, and therefore I'm more willing to use them. Despite my default playstyle. Okay. Let's do... let's just do this, actually. Get some gravity hold back. Just not even messing with that jump. That jump is one of those deceptively difficult jumps. I love the little jump they do when they shoot, by the way. Yeah, it's a very, very easy to screw up jump. Trust me on this. One of the banes of a Buster-only run of this game is that jump. That's why I remember it so well. Because you can't use items unless you have to, and you don't have to. Hey, Blue Hero. And then Blue Hero was gone! Like magic. Pretty good, Dr. That's the other thing. They also do have some decent drop rate. We're gonna have to give an itemization plus. So I'm gonna show off Beat a little bit. You're probably thinking, what does Beat actually do? Beat straight up murders things. Yeah, it's Beat is optional, and homes in, and is invincible. So it's basically like the Dive Man attack, except better in every way. The only thing that limits Beat is he does use up a lot of energy per hit. Excuse me. By the way, I think all the Darkmen are weak to Beat, if I'm remembering correctly. Great background. Love the visuals here. Sorry. So, I was reading up on this, apparently, and I didn't hear about this before, so I'm not sure how valid this is, but apparently there were plans to add a bird along with Rush back in Mega Man 3. They didn't, because Mega Man 3 was Mega Man 3. And so they finally dusted off that idea for 5, and they're like, here, let's add the bird in. Let's do it. Whoops. I don't even know what that was all about. Oh yeah, before I go any further, I need to give another positive, because I'm actually impressed by how good the Darkman stages are overall. I should just call them Darkman stages. I'm honestly shocked at how good Mega Man 3 is, given the circumstances. I really am. Did I give the weapon plus? Yes, I did. Yeah, well, 3 was kind of rushed, but also it's the definition of troubled production. All right, you work in this game. No, I quit the industry. That's okay. Well, you work on this game. No, I quit the project. Okay, well, you work on this game. No, I'm pregnant. Okay, well, you work on this game. Well, we accidentally lost an entire stage. I mean, those are just the examples I remember off the top of my head, but there was a lot of just everything going wrong in a cursed, quote-unquote, cursed production. One of the people in the comments section on YouTube made a joke that, you know, Mega Man 3 is Inafune's least favorite game until he made Mighty Number 9, which, funnily enough, is another example of a game that just had an absolutely cursed production. Like, Mighty Number 9 was probably never going to be a good game, which is sad, but there it is. I love that screen that I just did, by the way. I love those jumps. Oh, wow. I was actually planning to take that hit. I'm now shooting through the enemy. That's cool. Ironically enough, no I don't, Mr. Red. I've seen Inafune's games outside of Mega Man. And they're not what I would call well-designed games. What Inafune is an excellent character artist. And he is. I will absolutely give the man credit on that. He knows how to design interesting and fun characters, and he knows how to bring them to life, because he was a daughter. He was someone who would actually do the pixel work, too. I know, blow up Alex. Just, Hyperdimension Neptunia is probably the first one I could think of when it comes to Inafune's work, which is still going, I believe. So this section can really suck. We'll see how we do here. We're gonna grab that, and we're gonna leave. We're not even gonna bother with that E-Tank. We're just gonna go. Someone had been playing Super Mario World. Remember, Super Mario World actually predates this game. Just as a reminder of the timeline here. That's not a dig, though. If there's any game you want to borrow ideas from, it's frickin' Super Mario World. I don't feel like dealing with you. Go away. Go away! I swore that worked on him. Oh well. That sucked. Getting twitchy now. I'm pretty low in health. I'm curious how Mario World will review. If we ever get there, obviously. I don't think it's even funded yet. I think it's on the list. So you liked that section, right? Well, good. Because welcome to hell. I'm just kidding. The first one was much harder. Darkman 3. Unfortunately, we didn't refill beat. I should have done that earlier. Whatever. I don't remember what Star-Lord's blasters do, other than shoot, though. Well, that's a little on the frustrating side, but that's okay. We'll just eat that. Nope. Yeah. Good morning, Korgoth. Absolutely not, Korgoth. Let's go and use beat a little bit. Help me out here a bit, buddy. One more. Thank you. Damn. Still got him. Probably one of the only decent Darkman fights other than the last one. The last one's mean, but we'll get there. Ugh. Another great stage. Really good stage design here. These are mean stages too. I'm sure we'll come up with another negative at some point. Surely we'll come up with another negative. That's how that always works. Every time I think, oh, sweet, no negatives, and we end up having another negative. Actually, you know what? Let's... Okay. So this stage is awesome. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. This is, first of all, it's a bit of a technical marvel, but even for later systems, this is really cool. How do you progress? You do that. I love the stage design in this one. I really do. It's relatively simple, especially if you know what you're doing, but I remember the first time I got here just being like, huh? I know that's short, and so it's probably just going to be an aggregate, but that's going to fill out this other aggregate. That's going to finish that off. So this boss, by memory, this is the boss I usually get stuck on in this game, especially doing a Buster-only challenge. This guy can be mean, especially if we don't have beat, which we don't. Proto-Man. Except he's off-key. Proto-Man, no. You wouldn't shoot your own brother. Ugh, yes you would. Wait, what? So this is Darkman 4. He has all of the abilities of the previous ones, plus a couple more. You cannot shoot through his barriers. You can shoot down through his barrier, into his barriers, like I'm doing right now. Or hit him when he's, you know, open like that. Doing this guy Buster only is very mean. Properly mean, unlike, say, Iceman or Electman. This is actually a very fun fight when you're doing it Buster only. Nope. Thought he was going to throw the thing. That's on me. Ah, I got eaten by input lag. This is why I know this section so well, by the way. Because you do it so much. Because you do it every time you die. Take two. Hey, look, you don't have to see the cutscene again. Ooh. I'm gonna turn on CPU turbo for this fight, Jesus. Right of that. Yeah, imagine if this was Breakman, by the way. I don't know if that's true. That's pure wild speculation, but it'd be interesting if that was the intention, right? Damn it, I'm an idiot. Oh my god. Suddenly giving me a very good pattern. I'm okay with. You're welcome, Columbuluzzo. I'm so sorry, Columbuluzzo.
You've done well, my young apprentice. I never expected you to defeat my powerful Dark Man, Robot. Until now, I have managed to frame Proto-Man for my crimes. But now, the real Proto-Man has appeared and spoiled my plan.
Which, honestly, it's a pretty dumb plan, Wily.
Dr. Light is a captive in my lab. Come if you dare.
I like to think that Dr. Wily would never actually hurt or kill Dr. Light. I mean that. I don't think Dr. Wily would actually have it in him to do that. Another dorky-looking castle. Well, it depends on your interpretation of the character, Dr. Winter. Oh yeah, sorry, spoilers, it was Dr. Wily all along. The other favorite song of the game. Love this song. Heat in the Dark, I believe, is the name of this song. Yeah, first of all, killing Dr. Light would be beneath him. Second of all, he would never win if he killed... Ooh! There's a gotcha. He would never win if he killed Dr. Light. Alright, Zach Deft. Just for you. I love this song. Notice how this room is surprisingly well designed for how simple it is. The enemies are designed to only, quote-unquote, open up kind of in tandem or in a pace, so you don't immediately have to fight everything. And each one of them kind of has interlocking fields of fire, so every one of them can hit you no matter where you are until you start breaking them down. Just love the design in some of these stages. Oh, also, yeah, I'm sorry to quote Mega Man X4 again, but he is my nemesis. Our rivalry has given me motivation in life. Clearly talking about Dr. Light there. It's ignoring Mega Man 11, where they, you know, absolutely smashed that point right up there in front, in case anybody still doubted it. Here's another good example of a room that kind of layers its obstacles so that you have a chance to deal with it before it just completely overwhelms you. we're gonna use arrow. We're getting a little low on coil. And these things are back, by the way. I think 4 introduced these things. The rotating platforms. Whoop! Hell, let's deal with that. I would actually agree with that, Valvedrix. Which is funny, because he didn't hurt her either. I mean, why would he, right? Still not very nice. Don't mistake me for trying to say that Dr. Wily is a good guy. Some people don't understand when I say they're not evil, and they're like, but they're not a good guy. It's like, no. There's a gradient here, right? We had this during Witcher 3, too. I just don't think Dr. Wily is evil. Oh, it's 3, right? You're right. This is the 4 one. This is the thing for 4. Yeah, Wily is Bowser evil. I know I've said that several times, but I stand by it. Yeah, this is straight out of Dustman stage here. Except much tighter timing. Oh, I have no doubt Cossack didn't know that. Which is the whole point. I mean, if he knows, then that's your edge gone right there, so you can't let him know. I forget which episode of South Park it is. This is a bad example of it, but there's this one episode where someone's like, I will do this. The other person pulls out the gun and says, I'll shoot you if you don't. And it's an empty gun. It's like a squirt gun. But if you tell the person you're holding them at squirt gun point, it doesn't really have the same impact, you know? Ultimately, I will admit that some of my belief in the Bowser evil thing for Wily is headcanon. But not all of it is, because A, we have the Archie comics where Wily is not evil. And B, we have the actual statements from the creators themselves, who flat out stated that Dr. Wily was not evil. And they actually wanted to, make Sigma evil in contrast to Dr. Wily. We've got to edge it up. There we go. That's true. In more modern times, we now have 9 and 11, which kind of push the same concept. Wow. I remember that. Oh yeah, 5 also follows naturally from 4, because naturally Wily would want revenge on Proto Man. So that's why he goes after Proto Man as his next target. Because Proto Man betrayed him back in 4. Now, what's funny about everything I just said is Mega Man 8. Which completely throws the idea out there that Wily is the biggest personification of evil. Yep, okay. I was just checking. In the world. No, really. That's actually something they say at one point. And we know this because evil energy gravitates towards him, and evil energy would only gravitate towards someone who's evil. The most evil, obviously. So I don't know what the hell that was all about. Rush! Rush! Come back! No, Rush! Rush! I'm sorry, Rush! I'll get you your treats! Ah, Rush has abandoned me. Honestly, it's really easy to eject 8 from canon since it has nothing to do with anything, and... I mean, yeah, it's a filler episode. It doesn't really move forward anything. Ooh, hey. It doesn't move anything forwards. And it doesn't advance anything. It's just... Hey, here's this side episode that happens after 7 because Bass is in it, and that's about it. Also has one of the worst Bass fights in the franchise there. Yeah, it also introduces story elements that will never come up again. Yeah, it really is the X7, now that I'm thinking about it. It's not going to be as bad as X7, don't mistake me, but it is the filler episode. Oh, you'll see, Giant Rat Guy. You'll see. Nope. This is a very tight thing. I have to go immediately. Oh, that was still close. Hi. Okay. Oh yeah, the evil energy was totally the precursor of the Magravars. Totally, totally, totally. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Say no more. But yeah, Mega Man 5 isn't easy. That'll be 6. 6 is substantially easier than 5, by memory. Again, with the deceptively easy jumps there. Speaking of which. Oh, okay. Yeah, the graphics are going to be legit in X6. Or, sorry, in 6. I'm used to adding that X there. But it's a little bit on the easier side. So how many of you didn't know how to do this boss the first time you did it? Raise my hand. You're just sitting here like, how the heck am I supposed to get up there? So you burn the rush coil or whatever. See, when you shoot them, they pop out. This is actually a great boss design, in my opinion, because it puts the entirety of the boss fight in your hands on how it goes. You can also do what I just did and fail at it twice in a row. This is definitely a don't be greedy boss, too. We're gonna burn an E-tank, because I don't feel like redoing that stage. What you see, Mr. Red, is first you'd give a lengthy 17-page essay for how he would do that. Because that's a very, very, very complex question you're asking me in the middle of a difficult boss fight. The M is a full refill. It's the Mega Refill. It's our first Mega Refill in the franchise, actually. Use the trick. Get up. Get a hit in. Get a sub. Zenyats. It was awesome. Thank you, Zenyats. And dead. Okay, there we go. Oh, thank you, Zenyats, for that sub very much. If you know what you want to put that towards, please let me know. Oh my gosh. Ah. And thank you for the kind words. Much appreciated. Okay. Hang on. So let's recover for a second, because that fight, that fight. So that stage absolutely gets a positive. That's a great stage, and brutally difficult in all the right ways. That's the password screen, Evil Clone. There's this old concept that you probably never heard of called passwords. So instead of actually putting a save function into the cartridge, what they did was they allowed you to have passwords, and that would save how many E-tanks you have, how many M-tanks you have, how many of the beat things you have, and what stage you're on. And, yeah, that's what that is. Anyways, thank you, Computer Kid, very much for the bits. If you know where you want to put those, please let me know. Gonna start another aggregate for those partial pluses. What's the name of that boss? Let's find out what the name of that boss is, because we can check the database. What's the name of that boss? Big Pets. Who names these things? Remodeled from an amusement park guide robot. When the shutter is down over its eyes, which is its weak point, it won't take damage. Darkman 4, Darkman 3, Darkman 2, and Darkman 1. By the next boss is called Cirque Ring, Q9, and then the Wily Press, my personal favorite. Anyways. Whatever. Big Pets. We're just gonna call it Wily 1 boss. Is that cool with everyone? Cool. All right. I'm just gonna keep piling on positives. Apparently, that's just my life now. It's okay. We're probably not gonna surpass X1. I mean, it's very unlikely we're gonna surpass X1. Let's just be honest with ourselves. If anything's going to surpass X1, it's probably gonna be 11. Ugh. Another deceptively hard jump. You like water stages, right? Oh, damn, I guessed wrong. That's okay. We can just go do that. You absolutely can, Zenyats. I will put that towards Heaven's Word. Done. Thank you again very much. Okay, back into it. So these ones aren't moving, but this section can be rough, depending. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh, God. The lag. The lag is real. Don't jump too tall in underwater. Like, Bubble Man? No, 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 no. Try doing this stage. Now the things are moving, by the way. So you notice how, once again, we have that escalation theme. We have a section where it's like, okay, here's these platforms, here's some spikes. None of them moving, and the spikes are recently high up. Okay, now here's a section where the platforms are moving, and the spikes are much lower. I love this section of the game. This stage is totally getting another +1.5. Just so you know. Love the level design in this game so much. This is proper escalation. And I know most good game design uses escalation, but they just do really good stuff with it here. They even have breather sections, which is something I feel a lot of game design misses out on. Is the concept of having that sort of pacing to it. What most games will do is they'll just throw barrage after barrage after barrage of death at you with no chance to catch your breath, and it just kind of blurs after a while. So you can't appreciate it the same way. And, well, if you're having issues, then there's no reward period. There's no breather period. Absolutely not, Slow. Don't give any negatives to my game. Don't do it! Don't give any negatives to my baby. I can't take it. In all seriousness, 5 and 6 are much laggier than 4, just like 4 was laggier than 3, and 3 is laggier than 2, and so forth and so on. Because they keep wanting to do more. And, well, the NES couldn't quite handle that, and so here we are. Oh, that's mean. What's with the chickens? I mean, Zelda did just come out. LTTP. By the way, those guys hit like a truck. I don't know if you saw that. Actually, what are they weak to? I'm curious. What are you things weak to? Napalm. The power muscler, definitely not based on Guts Man. I do not know, Valvedrix. I could guess, but I don't know. One of the common reasons for companies to not stick with a new console usually has to do with them not having faith in the new console. Like, oh, it's not going to sell well. It could also just be them being literally just behind the times to such an extent as they don't recognize what's happening around them while they do it. Okay. And yeah, who knows? I mean, the NES to the SNES was kind of a unique console shift. Specifically because of the fact that it was kind of the first time that happened. Nowadays, a new console generation is a regular beat. It's a pattern in gaming development. Back in the day, by the way, Computer Kid, did you tell me what you want to put that towards? Back in the day, it was the NES, and then they're like, hey, there's this, you know, other consoles came out, but they weren't the NES, and then we have this SNES, and everyone's like, eh? And nobody really knew quite how to deal with that. In hindsight, we can say jumping on the SNES was the right move, because it was. But we only know that with hindsight, with no understanding or concept of what a console generation even was. The very idea of jumping onto the new console was seen as expensive and risky. You got it, Computer Kid, thank you. And I know this because I've actually read interviews about developers who's had this exact problem with the NES to SNES shift over. And I don't know if Capcom had that, but plenty of other developers were looking at the SNES like, we have to buy a whole new kit. We have to get this whole other thing going on, and we just, I don't know. There's a lot of upfront investment for a risk. I don't remember what you're weak to. This guy's a fun one. So, what are you weak to? Let's just check for no reason. Let's just check. 'Cause I think I know the answer to this, and I think it's not what I want to hear. Yep, that's what I thought. Oh, we got plenty of gyros, but we're probably gonna die this attempt. Yep, there we go. Super death. That's okay. I accept the super death. Really? Got an E-tank. Now that being said, and I've already said this, they were working on Mega Man X1, at least in the early phases of making X1 when they were making X5. And they were absolutely making X1 when they were making Mega Man 6. Well, that's a short stage. Let's use up the coil. I don't think we're going to need it again. So you can probably guess what this stage is. It's everyone's favorite time. Time to give the game a negative. So this is probably one of the weirder refights. Because it's literally just their rooms again. Like, it's... You'll see what I mean in a second. It's not even like an amalgamation or whatever. It's just you're in the boss room again. Now, this is a unique thing, however. This is probably the one way they've done the refights better in this game. There's no teleport out, you noticed? What teleports you out is getting the health. That's such a small change, but I wanted to comment on it. Because they actually enforce the idea that you have to pick those health pickups and you can't miss out on them, thanks to screwing up or whatever. Crystal. Because that's been a problem since, like, 2. You have to pick up that in order to move on. Just a cool little feature. But yeah, you see what I mean? It's literally just the boss rooms. Just over again. Yeah, almost. Low, too. Getting low on everything. Might have to actually blow that M-tank at some point. I gotta save the Mega Elixir, guys. There's the final boss coming up, and I might need it for that. Damn it. And we're out. Just think of it like a feature, Zilog. It's there to... I don't know. I got nothing. How many gravity holds do I have? None. Weird. That's really weird. Ah! Ah! Stop shooting me! Well, that worked. And he just suddenly gives me a really good pattern out of nowhere. What the heck is that nonsense? Then he gives me a really bad pattern, because of course he does. Gotta balance that out there. Anyways. Just because I'm curious, let's go ahead and turn on the turbo. I don't remember what he's weak to. Never mind, I remember. I don't know, Gingaman. I'd have to think about that. Weird pattern today. Very weird pattern. By the way, you literally can't shoot Waveman in the air. Waveman's weapon, I mean, in the air. Playing Delta Rune. You want to hear something weird? I'm kind of worried that one of these is going to surpass X1, and I'm going to have raving, ravenous people descending upon me to kill me. I think he's weak to kick. Pretty sure he is. What are you weak to? I don't remember what he's weak to. Oh yeah, Napalm. Right. Gutsman always returns. There is no stopping Gutsman. Gutsman is now dead again. As per usual. So this is a fun fight. I'm also out of the thing he's weak to. So this is the Buster-only version. A little slow. Those are insta-kill spikes, before you ask. A little bit of RNG here. I mean, that gets down to the philosophy of the matter, Zolo. Do you think playing it safe, but producing a very good product is a good or a bad thing? Now, obviously, I don't want to encourage everyone to play it safe, because if we didn't have any innovators, then we'd be screwed over, right? But when it comes to a review, which is the better game at the end of the day? The one that failed but took risks, or the one that played it safe but did a very good execution of it? And my opinion on that's obvious because I've already given it. Even something that plays it safe but does a very good execution of it deserves credit for that, in my opinion. Not in a bajillion years, Valvedrix. In fact, I think I played it in the arcade, but don't quote me on that, because I'm not even sure. So there was our one negative. Also, if we were to give positives for trying things and negatives for playing it safe, that would drastically change a huge number of games reviews. Pretty much every Pokemon game would get negatives for that. And every Mega Man game. Whereas most Final Fantasy games would get an artificial boost in terms of positive for constantly trying new stuff, even when most of it failed. So as usual, I feel like there needs to be like a manual proviso on top of that. Oh, I just remember what fight I'm about to do. I hate this fight. At least by memory, I hate this fight. Okay. I think he's weak to arrow. I'm almost positive he's weak to arrow. Yeah, Mega Man 5 has been pretty legit so far. Probably gonna surpass 4, probably should. Yep, he's weak to arrow, I'm right. I'm actually getting an extremely good pattern here. That was astonishingly good luck. I would agree with that, Blue of Alex. But, you know, that's kind of another discussion there, isn't it? So, what is the final boss weak to? He's actually weak to Buster. But he's also weak to Beat. You can always also tell where he is, because Beat knows. Beat always knows. That's actually not true. Beat sometimes doesn't know. Believe it or not, this is still kind of tricky. He hits very hard, has a lot of health, and it's pretty easy to die on this fight. And if you do, you have to do the stage and the previous thing all over again. Beat is a robot, yes. Now the real question is Rush a robot? Or an androbot? Or an android? Where are you at? There you are. I mean, honestly, 6 is probably not going to be better than 5. Let's just be honest with ourselves. 6 has some really awesome elements, but I don't think 6 is going to hit the heights that 5 does. If 6 retains quality, which it might, 7 will absolutely be the drop in quality. There's a reason 7 is usually listed as one of the 2 bad Mega Man Classic games. Bam. Oh, by the way, time. We are actually done with Mega Man 5. Good morning, Ross. Oh, I hear that all the time, Valvedrix. Usually from speedrunners, admittedly, but still. I mean, I myself think 7 is subpar. God, we just smashed through that game, didn't we? Just absolutely bulldozed it. So Rock is showing that Gutsman power there. Wily gets away, Blue slips away. The end. And that pretty much is it. Not much of an ending, unfortunately. Just another typical... It's a typical comic book ending. To be continued. Yeah, no kidding. That's... Whew, we just absolutely bulldozed that. Of course, Zalog. Why wouldn't Wily feed him properly? I always wonder what Dr. Wily eats. Like, food doesn't just appear out of thin air unless you're in Star Trek. So where's Dr. Wily getting his food for? Like, he's the only one in his whole giant castle who needs food. So is there just, like, some little Uber Eats guy who just kind of drives up to this gigantic castle and is like, hello? I've got your Taco Bell. Just holds it up to the webcam, like, just drop it at the front door. Okay, thanks. And I like to think that Dr. Wily tips really well. So they make the trip, you know, so they're inclined to make the trip. Look, I'm a weirdo. I think about things like this. I think about practical things like that, because I'm just strange. How does Dr. Wily eat? He lives in the side of a giant castle filled with robots. He does have access to a teleporter, and we do know canonically that Dr. Wily can teleport. In fact, I turned that into a plot point in one of my books. So, maybe he just goes out. That's even better. Dr. Wily just teleports out to talk about, yes, I would like... let's see, I'd like a 7-layer burrito, please. I'm sorry, we discontinued the 7-layer. What? And that's why Mega Man 3 happened. So yeah, I was so worried about this game. I was so afraid, and yet this game was awesome. It was even difficult in an awesome way, which is something I love for Mega Man games. Like, some people have this weird impression that I don't like difficulty in my games, and those people are wrong. As I've said before, I enjoy good difficulty quite a lot, and I think a lot of Mega Man 5 is properly difficult. Like the section where you have to jump on the rotating platforms underneath a spike bed which is just above you while enemies are attacking you. That's awesome. I love that. I enjoy that kind of thing. And yeah, this is a very polished game. I honestly think... I can't think of another negative. But we're going to have to do our audit. We always have to do the audit. That's why the audit is there. That's one of the reasons the audit's there. So let's go ahead and pull up the audit list here. And look at this sucker over, shall we? The only thing that might be a negative is the slowdown, and I'm pretty hesitant on giving that, because it is certainly pushing the game to its limits. I don't know. We did give the boss rush negative. That's the only negative we've given. All right, Mega Man 5. Here we go. Boom. So let's look at the narrative axis first. I don't know why I'm doing this. Let's look at the narrative axis this way. There we go. Let's have a brain. So I am going to give the visual continuity thing because it does the same thing that they all do. So yeah, intro, external continuity, visual storytelling, and visual continuity. Yeah, the thing is, the ending is just kind of disappointing. We might give a negative to the ending, and I'm actually okay with that. Whoops, this is the gameplay axis. I need the story axis. Here we go. So the reason I don't... Let me give a specific codified reason for why I don't want to give the negative to Slowdown. It's because I love this game so much. No, that's not actually why. It's because it doesn't eat your inputs the way some of the other ones do. Looking at you, 3 and 4. Several times in 3 and 4, you'll be like, all right, I got this, and then you don't because you hit the jump, and then it's like, wait, what? Okay, so hang on really quick. Visual storytelling, visual continuity, the intro. It's pretty easy to talk me into a negative for that outro. In fact, you know what? I'm just talking myself into it as I talk here. So let's give a negative to the outro. You know me. I'm always harsher. I'm always more strict about outros and intros than any other aspect of a game. And let's be honest, that outro was pathetic. It was, at best, well visualized. Because, you know, cutscene and all that. And just, what the hell were you thinking? That's such a disappointing, whoop, they're all done, to be continued. So, yeah. Yeah, no. No, our spruce. I actually figured out what caused that, because it happened to me later, and it's like, oh, that's what did that. But no, that's not a negative. Okay, so let's go through the narrative really quick. A lot of this doesn't apply. There's no camera work, there's no characters, there's no cinematics, there's no cutscene incompetence, there's no dialogue. I absolutely think the doodads should get a positive. Just, oh my gosh, yes. Yes, so plus to doodads. Empty text, endgame, external continuity, we gave that one. Go forward a little bit. Humor, nope. Integration, nope. Intro, yep. Lighting, nope. Localization, nope. Moments, nope. Music, nope. Outro, we already gave a negative. Pacing, padding, plot. Story sequencing, storyboarding, storytelling, themes, visual continuity, visual storytelling, voice acting, voice direction, world building, writing. The only thing I question mark in all of that is the plot. This is one of those weird ones, because I think this is kind of a bit of a Voyager effect, honestly, because the hook, the plot, the premise is actually just, oh my gosh, what's going on? Is Proto Man actually evil? He's fighting these things, and why is he doing it? Oh my gosh, what do we do? And then they don't do anything with it. Yeah, they just, it's, oh yeah, it was actually Dark Man. Sorry. My bad. Okay. But I don't think that's negative worthy. I just think it's not positive worthy. I think that's where we're at with that. By the way, no cheats. Hell yeah. Always love putting that flag up. And by that, I mean not putting that flag up. And yeah, the Cossack twist was the only time that twist worked. I actually gave a positive for the Cossack twist. But every other twist, by the way, 6 has a similar twist, just to spoil that for you. Every other twist after this is just, it deflates after the Cossack twist. The Cossack twist was well built up and well paid off. And then it's like, oh, it's Proto Man. No, it's not. Oh, it's Mr. X. Spoilers, it's not Mr. X. Now, Blueopholics argues for a negative for plot. What are we thinking? Give me some feedback. What are we thinking on this? I'm fine with giving that negative. It is a wasted premise. But what are we thinking? How are we thinking on this one? Oh yeah, Proto Man foiled his plan, except, huh? While we're thinking about that, I'm going to start tabulating the positives we've already given to the gameplay axis, so we get all that in. Come on, there we go. Whoops. There we go. And then we've got the save system. The rewind. Music. 2 pluses for music. Interface is good again. Controls and combat. And then kit. Graphics. Graphics. Excuse me. There's 3 of those. Itemization, which is over here. I'm not going to chat just yet. I will in just a moment here. So, stage, and then a bunch of... So that's like 8 positives for levels. I think that's actually a new record. The level design of this game is just through the roof. Just absolutely fantastic. And then we have a few bosses, which we gave positives for. Not as many. Not as many bosses, but a few. 1, 2... Just the 2, okay. And I think that's everything. So then we scroll down. So then we have the 1 negative, which is the refights, which, yeah, it's the Mega Man negative. Let's call it what it is. Interesting. Okay, so that's all that we have. So what are we thinking about the negative? Ending was what plot? Sure, yes. So Blue Hero says no. Zilog says he's a non-hero. It's not actively bad. It's a waste, and it doesn't deserve a negative. I'm seeing a few people saying it doesn't deserve a negative, and I admit I kind of lean that way. I do absolutely think it's the absence of a positive, which is a shame. Because it could have easily been a positive. The plot and premise could have so easily been a positive, and it's not. So yeah, let's just watch that one. So that leads us on to the gameplay axis. I think I agree with Mr. Red. If it's not obvious, considering the fact that I blew through this game faster than Mega Man 2, I don't really consider this game to be particularly hard. But that's because I know this game inside and out, and I have speedrunned and challenge runned it many times, and that's on me. So I think I'm going to stop recommending people start with Mega Man 5, because yeah, this one is beautifully, wonderfully hard. I think I'll start suggesting people start with 4, because 4 is substantially less smash you in the facey and still a very high quality product. Or 11, but that's just starting with Star Trek 6, isn't it? Okay, so animations. Did I give it animations plus? Did I not? Animation. I didn't. Animations, yes. Very good animations. At some point, we need to decide if they deserve a second animation. We need to think about that. Yeah, I would agree with 2 as well. 2 and 4 are both good starting points. The only reason I hesitate to say start with 11 is the same reason I don't say start with Star Trek 6. You know, like, I get why you say that, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, I should go watch Star Trek 3 after this. Oh. It's the same reason I don't recommend people start with Final Fantasy 6 either. That being said, 4 and 2 are probably seminal Mega Man, so those are good picks, I think. I'm gonna give. We'll debate. Remind me with Mega Man 6, which will be starting in a couple hours here, to debate the second animation point, because I think Mega Man 6 might be the one that tips over into 2 pluses to animation. So let's move forward. Add audio spam, no issues with that, believe it or not. Auto, nope, doesn't apply, doesn't apply, doesn't apply. There's the best year which I already gave. I already talked about the bosses. There we go. Sorry. That actually means we're up to 3 positives there. Okay, so builds, nope. Built-in cheats, nope. Camera, no choice, no cope. Scroll forward a little bit here. Difficulty curve. This is going to sound weird, but even though this game is quite hard, I want to give a plus to difficulty curve. Because the difficulty curve is very smooth in Mega Man 5. I would argue there's no spikes in Mega Man 5's difficulty curve. Now, feel free to check me on this, because again, I know this game really well. But it starts off kind of mean, just a little bit, but at every point, it's staircase, right? It's like, okay, here's this new concept, and here's this new thing, and here's this new concept, and here's this new thing. And then you get to the Proto Man stages, and they're harder, but it's still an escalation, and then you get to the Wily stages, and they're much harder, but it's still just a smooth escalation throughout the whole thing. No real spikes or dips, and yeah, I think that's a very good difficulty curve. See, I disagree with that, Zillow, but then again, I suck at games, so that's just me. Then we have... Yeah, we already gave that one. Enemy variety. Oh yeah, hang on. I kind of saved this one on purpose. Hold on. Let's count. I will admit the Darkmans are just pathetic, and that's probably one of the only... But the Darkmen themselves are kind of good. Like, by the time we get to the 3rd Darkman, it's nice. And the 4th Darkman is actually mean. But anyway, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, 46. Which does mean we have the most types of enemies. But I'm going to just go ahead and say I absolutely think that these enemies get a plus for variety. There's just a wonderful variety to how they attack you, and it's just all the stuff that the Mega Man series has been doing so far. I think we're officially there. We've been talking about this before in 3 and 4. I think 5 is officially where I want to give 2 enemy variety pluses. What do we think? Because that's not just the quantity of them, but again, the quality of them, the variety of them, how they attack you, how they challenge you, how you avoid them, what they're weak to. At some point, we're going to have to give that second enemy variety plus. We're keep building it up. And I was always saying it was going to be 4, 5, or 6 is when we finally tip over that line. So, I'm hearing some agreement in chat, question mark. Let's jot down at least the 1. No, Arspruce, you must think. It's the only way. So 2 positives for enemy variety, which will probably continue. Even in the games that I'm kind of iffy on, like 7 and 8, we'll probably get the 2 pluses for enemy variety, because it's just going to be legit from now on. pretty much until 11. Until and through 11. So, okay, so. We'll just sit here at the title screen. I don't think anything happens here. So, okay, that's awesome. So 2 pluses for enemy variety. Check. We're officially up to the 2s. Okay, moving forward a bit. There is no intro as usual. We won't have an intro until 7. That would be Eddie Carhuelas. We already mentioned the kit because the weapons are cool. And we got level scaling, lighting, log, map, checkpoints, mod support. Where's my mod support for Mega Man 5, damn it? Outro. So this is from a gameplay access. So this is that final stage, which is just the 2 walkers. It's kind of all it is. And then you fight the skull tank, or whatever it's called. Actually, what is that stupid thing called? The Wily Machine Mark V. Okay. And then the Wily Capsule Mark II. Oh, wow, it's actually listed weakness is beat. That's funny. I mean, yeah, there's a logic to that. And yep, that's weak to arrows. Favorite visual design of these ones, by the way. Yeah, that's why I'm debating. I think, hi, little Billy, I think it's good enough to not be a negative, but I don't think it deserves a positive. I think that we're going to call that a wash on the outro. So we're going to say that's a wash on the outro. There's no overworld. There's no padding. Replayability. Now, obviously, it gets a plus for replayability. I mean, duh. I don't think it deserves a second plus, though. As we've already established, the game needs to do something in the game to kind of encourage variant routes or alternate paths or whatever in order to earn that second plus, which only a few of the games we've covered so far have done that. Like X1 and X5 are 2 of the only ones we've actually given that second plus for replayability. So... yeah, if it wasn't for the beat collectibles things and the boss order, it's just there's not a lot additional there. So there's no railroading, there's no Raspberry Jam, there's no respec. We already mentioned the save system. Sound design. Well, then that's a replayable game, computer kid. But that's kind of it. Like that's one replayable plus. To go past one, we've actually, like I said, we've established this. To go past one replayable plus, what you have to do is it can't just be a game you enjoy replaying. That's what you need for the first plus. To get to the second plus, the game needs to do something to support and encourage the idea of replays. And to get a third plus, it needs to do something really, really well, like really good games like, I don't know, Into the Breach, for example, would be an example of a game that might get that third plus. Or yeah, maybe it has a completely separate campaign, or maybe it has totally different order. Roguelites are kind of things that might lean that way. 4X games like Civilization might get a third plus, stuff like that, right? Anyways, so sound design, sorry. I actually like the sound design in this one, but I need people to track me. The way I usually think of this is the sound design is good, but does it at any point irritate? And I don't find the sound design irritating in this one, unlike the problems we had in 4. But feel free to check me on this one. What are we thinking for sound design? You know, we've got the weapon designs, we've got the sound of plink, and the enemy shots, and the charge sound. That's very important, because charge sound is usually irritating. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Blue. I never showed that off. I should totally show that off. But I don't think I can, actually. Yep, alright, whatever. Moving on. Um, we already gave a plus for terrain design because it's awesome. Visual distinction. Oh, yeah. Very visually distinct game. And that's everything, which is thank God, because we're up to 39 freaking pluses to gameplay. Which means our net total is plus 38. Jesus. And plus 4 to story. Even I'm surprised by that, and I've said this one is my favorite several times. Hang on, let's see how that actually rates. So let's pull up the spreadsheet here. Mega Man 4. And by 4, I mean 5. So it was at 4 and 38. Now, Mega Man X1 still had more positives, and I think it's still going to surpass this, but we'll see. It will probably be the number 2 slot. Hang on. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hmm. One of the things I like to do every time I assign a golden number is check my feelings on it to see if that tracks. To see if that feels right, you know? Because the golden number is very, very carefully thought out and very carefully planned out and blah, 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 but I need to really make sure that I haven't screwed up somewhere because Lord knows I make mistakes and I might have had something wrong somewhere in the process because it's a whole sequence, right? Like it's this massive sequence of stuff to go through. So in case you're wondering why I'm hesitating so much, I'm really, really, really mentally tracking to see how much I agree with how high 5 is rated. Because it's higher than Mega Man X1. I'm just going to give that away right now. In fact, it's our 10th highest rated game ever. At 86.18. And the more I think about it, the more I stand by it. This is amazing level design, fantastic weapon design, incredible escalation, excellent presentation, excellent visuals, excellent music. Just, there are things that X1 does better than this. Absolutely. In fact, X1 has more gameplay positives than this. But this game is just really well polished, and it's so dense. And that's kind of the thing. One of the things I do track is Korgoth giving subs. Korgoth, excuse me. But one of the things I track as part of the golden number is density. How much good per time is one of the features I track. And I actually track that in 2 separate manners, in 2 separate ways, which is, oof. This is an incredibly dense game. It's got the same thing that going for it that Super Metroid does have. Super Metroid is an astonishingly short game, a ridiculously short game, but it has incredible, incredible quality in such a very short period of time. That's why Super Metroid is my 4th highest rated game of all time, despite being only a 5-hour game. So yeah, no, I stand by that. That is mind-blowing, but at the same time, I can't disagree with it. Thank you, Korgoth, very much for the sub, as always. If you happen to know where you want to put that, please let me know. I mean, of course people are going to prefer X1. X1 is the golden boy. Even I'm a little surprised that this beat X1, to be completely honest. But at the same time, like, we just heaped praises upon X1. Although, actually, I'm curious of something. Let me look at something really quick. Give me a moment. That's true. That is true. Hello. Oh, for God's sakes. Hang on, hang on. 97-page document. You gotta give me a second. So, if not for the... Hang on, let me check something here. Yep. If not for that initial problem, if not for the fact that Mega Man X1 had that problem with you really should do Chill Penguin stage first. Okay, it still wouldn't surpass Mega Man 5. That would bump it up a little bit, but that still wouldn't surpass it. Well, you know what would make X1 actually beat Mega Man 5? Having a really good story. I hate to bash this point in, but just to give an idea here, let's assume Mega Man X1 had the story of a level of quality of, I don't know, name an RPG that isn't Witcher 3, because that would be stupid. Or maybe a Zelda game, something like that. FF4. Okay, well, let me scroll down a little bit, because FF4 is a little down here. But let's see. There's Final Fantasy IV. There it is. So FF4 got 15 pluses to story, for example. So if Mega Man X1 had 15 pluses to story, it would be in the hundreds. Which would put it in, like, the top 5 range. And the only reason I mention that is because that right there is why I would absolutely love these games to have the kind of narrative quality that I wish they had. I was just thinking about this last night. I was thinking about this with regards to Mega Man 4. It's like, there's so much potential. And they've got a great premise. They've got interesting characters. They've got the brand. Why? Come on! Alright, whatever. Anyways. I'm rambling at this point. I really like Mega Man 5, obviously. But even I am a little bit surprised at just how amazing that game was. That is insane. Clearly, we need to do an audit run of X1. That's just what this requires. The PC version, specifically Gingaman, which is effectively the DS version. Yep, nope. I don't have anything else to add to that. I had a curiosity, but I'll do that off camera. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and chop off. I do hope you've enjoyed. Since I don't have anybody interrupting, I was hesitant to do Mega Man 6 today, but we absolutely slammed through Mega Man 5 in 2 hours, so we'll probably go ahead and cover Mega Man 6. I'm not sure when I'll be back. I'll be back whenever I'm done, okay? So, I'll see you then.